guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, being subbed. If you're not, hit the button. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit that like. It's like walking in the room, hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into this podversation. All right, guys. I have to say that the Larry Reid saga continues, and 2024 definitely is the year of receipts, revelation, and reaping. And we're seeing a lot of it, and this is just only the month of February. We better buckle our seatbelts, put on our helmets, our eye gear, and whatever else we need to protect ourselves, because we are in for a ride this year, okay? And we need all the protection that we can get. I'm saying, because the stuff that's coming out about Larry Reid, none of this is surprising to me. I was in the live last night that VTerrillHill, or whatever his name is, forgive me if I'm saying it wrong, did last night, where he was expounding on the things that he previously said, as well as giving people the opportunity to ask questions of him. I was in it for a little minute. I didn't ask any questions. And I saw a few vloggers in the chat space arguing with each other. It was, to be honest with you, it was a little bit funny to me, but I can use all the comedy that I can get. So I'm always up for a good laugh. But anyway, I'm going to put a link in the description box to officialkingpain's most recent interview that he did with another victim of Larry Reid's. And he's doing a Surviving Larry Reid series. And this guy, his name is Tasha Hines. Somebody, again, who used to go to his church. Started out in his church as a young parishioner. And it's just absolutely sad and disgusting. And when I hear the audio clips of Larry saying, "You did take my swimmers in your ASS for many years, so my spirit is in you," that is a predator, a groomer, a sexual deviant. Like, oh my God, somebody that's supposed to be in a leadership position, who is a supposed Christian, and it's just disgusting. It's nasty. It's foul. It's filthy. And when Levante came out and did his interview with Tasha K last year in her PPP series, Pastor, Pimp, or PEDO, I believed every single word that Levante said. And this was not his first time coming out, and not so much just trying to expose Larry Reid, but to expose himself and what he experienced and what he went through. And that's the thing that bothers me when it comes to the people who are so wrapped up in calling themselves an LRLer and so down for this man that they never met before. And even if they met him once or twice, you don't know him, and you're giving him your money, and he's paying men to perform for him or to keep silent. Is either paying them to perform or paying them to keep silent. So when it comes to this guy who is now sounding the trumpet against Larry Reid, when he was in a relationship with him, he said from 2005 to 2017, while Larry was married to a woman who was a beard, let's just be real, she was the cover. I cannot just give this man a pass because he's coming out and speaking now. I'm going to read, because I took a screenshot of the text messages, if you will, between Larry and VTerrillHill. And this is from 2023, okay? This is January. He said, during this period prior to him getting the text messages from Larry, he hadn't spoken to him in a minute. So he just gets a text message from him January 15th, 2023. This is Larry. Larry says, "I had 2 dreams about you 2 weeks ago, and I should have reached out, but due to how things went, I hesitated. I would like to have a convo about our relationship. Also, is your PayPal and BOA the same? VTerrillHill responds and said, hey, yes, it's the same. Let's connect soon. Larry says, can we meet now? And I send after our talk. You home? ? VTerrillHill says, yes, I'm home. Larry says, I forgot how to get there. Shoot me the address. I'm a slip-on clothes. VTerrillHill says, I have a tenant. Have to meet in your car. Larry says, okay, that's fine. And then I guess he sent him a screenshot of the address. And then Larry says, I'll send ETA as soon as I get in car. And then he says 11:57. I'm assuming this is at night, okay? And then VTerrillHill says, is that you outside? And Larry says, yes, trying to get off phone. Okay, I'm done. And then Larry sends another text. I'm assuming, yeah, this is a different day. Hey, Lord, I stayed up too late at doctor's. I'm going to be able to do a minimum of, and then he spelled minimum wrong. Anyway, he said minimum. I'm assuming he meant minimum of 5,000 every 30 days. So that will be done in 6 months, counting January. I know I can do that, and I'm not overcommitting. And then VTerrillHill says, thank you for honoring the commitment. I understand what it takes to build and grow things, and money isn't nothing to play with. And then this surely is Larry, because it sounds like him. He says, Shoal ain't. And it's SHOLE. Shoal ain't. Anyway, so the money, VTerrillHill says that money actually was for work that he actually did, not for sexual favors. So he said, because he said he was in a relationship with Larry, it wasn't, Larry was just screwing him, or he was allowing Larry to screw him for money. So I'm assuming that Larry is a power top, and they said TD Jakes is the power bottom. I don't know. This is just all so TMI, okay? But anyway, we're learning about it. It's out here in the open and in the public, and I'm talking about it. And the reason I wanted to talk about this and expound a little bit more is because I watched Official King Pain's video. And again, I have the link in the description so that you can watch it. But before he started the interview with the gentleman that was one of his victims, he started tearing up and crying a little bit because he said, you know, VTerrillHill, he in his initial video where he was like calling out bloggers and all of these different things like that, it's like, who are you to call out bloggers? And I have to agree with that, because the fact of the matter is, if you listen to his entire video where he was coming out to sound the trumpet against Larry Reid, and I don't know what the motive is for doing that. He says it's to free himself, and it wasn't so much to expose Larry, and it wasn't about money. I don't really know if that's the case. I do believe that there are motives for it, but I don't know what the entirety of the motives are. There's motives for everyone doing what they do. And I feel that this is definitely a money connection, as well as, I don't know, whatever's going on inwardly issue. Because he said, look, I might be getting all of these views now because of who I'm talking about and what I'm talking about, but I will gladly go back to doing the content that I was doing where I was getting 35 views or whatever per video. I'm not in this to try to build up and profit off of his name and exposing him, but I'm calling it out because this is my experience and my situation. But it was a little bit confusing because in the live that he did last night, he was talking about him confronting Larry to say, you know, I did a lot of work for you and I deserve to be paid for the rest of that work that I did do. And then he was saying it wasn't a money issue. So it's confusing. But what I will say, and what I really wanted to say in this commentary about this situation, because Tasha K aired him out last night, okay? If you are not on the app and you didn't catch it, you missed it. I don't know if that will ever go on YouTube. And I would be surprised if it did, but she aired him out last night and it definitely was deserved, because Larry tried, when she came out with the Levantre interviews and the things that were exposed about him prior, he tried to come out to make it seem like Tasha was out doing this because she's mad that he didn't give her money that she was asking him for. I didn't believe those things. And I believe that somebody like Larry Reid is a big time gaslighter, and I don't watch a whole lot of him, but just based on some of the things that I've seen, I feel like a huge manipulator and probably some narcissistic ways within himself when it comes to him doing the things that he has been doing in the dark, and now these things coming to light to try to make it seem like the person that's saying these things about him, they are the bad guys. Every time somebody comes out to say something about him, it's them. It's not him. And in my personal opinion, I feel that that is extremely problematic. But when you get followers like the ones that he has that clearly love this man so much that they were willing to give and sow so much money into his alleged ministry, if you want to call it that, that it became what it became, where he was able to afford to make the type of money that he was receiving to give people, just this one person, $5,000 a month. This man said that he didn't own any properties, but was paying rents in several different cities on properties that was totaling about $60,000 a month. It's absolutely insane. And so I didn't believe those things about Tasha K. But what I will say also in this commentary, when Larry Reid, I didn't come out and talk about it then. I started to, and I decided not to. And you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it now that it's come back to light with these things going on. I was going to do it, and then I had so many things going on, I never got around to it. So I never even gave commentary on it or I never even gave commentary on it, let alone giving my reaction to the sit down that Larry Reid did with Armon Wiggins and Storm Monroe. But the two of them need to be careful, because one of them being an outward gay man that is unashamed, being Armon Wiggins, and Storm Monroe, who a lot of people think is gay but has said he is not, having a connection with Larry Reid. I felt then, and I still feel today, that him having a connection to those two people, those two vloggers, was what he was doing to be beneficial to himself, because it was going to help to garner him more views from people who don't really follow the type of commentary and news that Larry Reid likes to talk about, which is exposing people in the church, so to speak, while he tried to bring people over to his side with his alleged Reformation Church, which is just a cover for getting money from people that he did not have to pay taxes on. I don't know why people could not see this. I have been seeing this for a while now. I just didn't really care to get out here and blow the trumpet to expose him all the way when it comes to this stuff, because it's like, well, if people want to blindly give their money to this fool and this clown, then go ahead and waste your money. It's not for me to try to stop people from doing what they want to do, because the fact of the matter is, for the majority of the people that were following him, they were just as messy as he was. They may not admit it, but yeah, I'm sorry. You would never see like someone like I don't know. I don't want to name any names because I don't want to get into, oh, well, that person is not a real teacher of the word of God or whatever. I'm not going back and forth with that. But you can think of some actual real pastors that you would never see sitting on YouTube gossiping about how some man got busted on video having sex with another man who's actually the preacher of a church, and it was posted on OnlyFans or Twitter or whatever, and he's sitting there talking about it and saying, go to my Patreon and I have the full video there if you want to see it. Like, I would never go to a church for someone who is operating that way. You're just a messy vlogger. Not all vloggers are messy, but he definitely is a messy vlogger. So for anyone to say, oh, well, they are a part of his quote unquote church. No, you're a part of his grift, and you're giving money to the grift, thinking you're sowing seeds that God is going to bless, and God has nothing to do with that. And Jesus is like, keep me out of it. All right. So yeah, Tasha K went off on him, and rightfully so, because he tried to disparage her character by, and I'm going to read what I said in my description of the video I did last year when I said, is Larry Reid a victim of Tasha K's wrath? ? And obviously I didn't think that he was a victim of her wrath. I just was basically saying that to question some of the people's thoughts about Tasha K in this situation. But in my description, I said, Larry Reid has been speaking a lot more about Tasha K than the accusers, meaning he's talking more about Tasha K than the people that has been accusing him. And I said, I just don't feel like he's a victim of Tasha K, but he is using the fact that people dislike her and believe she's a liar, that he can gain their favor and not giving into the allegations by the accuser she interviewed. And that's that wrapped up in a pretty little bow when it comes to Larry Reid and Tasha K, because Tasha K never did anything to that dude. He was gaslighting the public, a lot of them who just saw her as a lying, bankrupt, loser who owes Cardi B $4 million. And I'm just saying these things because this is how a lot of people view her. And it's unfortunate because in a lot of terms with situations like that, which I do believe, again, I will say that I felt like that was an overinflated judgment, but yet and still it is what it is. People were using that to just try to discredit her completely and negating all of the other things that she has said and done and talked about. Are we forgetting about R. Kelly? That was like one of the biggest things. That's actually what got me to start following her years ago, because all of these things that she was exposing about him, it was true. And then when the things came out about Azriel Clary and her parents, she came out and talked the truth about them as well. She didn't sit there and try to cover for them because at one point she was cool with them. No. So that's the reason why people can say whatever they want to say about Tasha K. And that doesn't mean that I agree with everything that she has said and done. But people cannot make me hate this woman because of a Cardi B lawsuit, period. I don't know Cardi B. You know what I mean? And if Cardi B gets her money, she's not going to give me a piece of the pie. So why am I going to be out here windmilling in the internet street saying, when you going to give that girl her money? But anyway, let's get off of that topic. I just kind of went off a little bit on a tangent, but it was relevant to me speaking about Larry Reid and how Larry Reid tried to disparage Tasha K's character when she just basically gave this guy the platform with more people to talk about what he went through, because she really did not know about these things prior. She said, if I had known Larry Reid was accused of these things prior, I never would have been in a connection and communicating with him ever. I didn't know these things until now. So yeah, he tried to act like she knew about it. No, this dude is not a celebrity. He's an internet personality at best. And still, there are a lot of people that didn't know about him until now, until this. Okay. So, it's just, it's crazy that this has gone on for so long, but my hopes are that if there's more to come out, it will. And whatever needs to happen will happen, because again, I say, the Jakes family, in my personal opinion, are not innocent. There's a lot of things I feel that they're guilty of that I really hope and pray that they get their just do and they're reaping for these things, because I stand with Michelle Loud and how they allowed their family member, their daughter, their sister, whatever, to use spiritual manipulation and spiritual coercion to take another woman's child that to this day she's still fighting to get back. So I'm saying that to say, even though I believe that the Jakes family has a lot of issues, and TD Jakes as well, that I believe that they need to reap what they have sown in those situations, I felt like Larry Reid was a huge hypocrite sitting out here calling out TD Jakes for things when he has been doing what he has been doing all along. And I've been saying this over and over again. It may not have been very often, but when I speak about it, and my stance has not changed when it comes to Larry Reid. It's just always been something about him I felt that was dark, devious, and deceitful. Anybody that's always wearing dark glasses in the daytime indoors, we hardly ever see your eyes. What are you hiding? It's like your snake eyes. Remember Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe? I mean, seriously, it's just absolutely ridiculous. And so Tasha K had every right to air him out last night in reaction to this video that officialkingpain did, which she gave a reaction to last night on her platform and shared a little bit more. And she said it's not the end. But again, like I said, officialkingpain, he interviewed another victim of grooming of Larry Reid's. I have the full video link in the description box. But again, like I was saying, when it comes to officialkingpain, appreciate the fact that he is letting this all out now. But for him to call out the bloggers, I felt was disingenuous, because he had been sleeping with this man for all of these years, knowing that Larry Reid was a married man. He really can't sit and call out anybody. It's not up to the vloggers and bloggers who are talking about the situation or may give a space for someone who is willing to speak to come to their platform to do an interview. It's not up to the vloggers and the bloggers to go and try to press charges, or if it's in the realm, file criminal prosecution against Larry Reid. It's not their place to do that. But him being involved with Larry Reid, he had more space and time to do those things than bloggers did. So bloggers are going to do what their job is to do, to talk, to interview, and maybe, depending on their platform, expose. But filing a lawsuit, pressing charges, that's not up for them to do. It's up to the victims if they choose to do that. And a lot of them don't even feel comfortable talking about it, let alone going to the courts to try to file suit, or going to the police to try to file charges if they felt like something criminal definitely did occur. So I can't get with him on that. For him to sit and do that in the first video that he did, I felt was disingenuous, because he is not exposing him until now. Look at how many years has gone by. And even him meeting up with Larry Reid, actually not this year, but of last year. I said this year, but it was January 2023, not 2024. So forgive me for that. But yeah, you're just talking about it now. So it's really not his place to sit and judge any of the vloggers or bloggers. And so, yeah, this is definitely a lot. When more comes out, I probably will be discussing it here. But you guys, you let me know your thoughts in the comment section about this, because this is pretty heavy, deep, and intense. It's getting deeper as we go further into this year. And it is only the middle of February, guys. So buckle up. It's just getting started. So guys, thanks for being here, liking, and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. Until next time, I just wanted to keep it brief, beautiful. And now I'm going to say bye.